The most basic breakdown of the $930 million Move Seattle levy looks like this. Safety improvements, $321 million. Road maintenance, $250 million. Mobility improvements, $264 million. And freight and neighborhood projects, $95 million.
It's always a balancing act.
That's Shefali Ranganathan of the Transportation Choices Coalition, a nonprofit that supports giving the public multiple ways to get around. She says the Seattle Department of Transportation's plan with the levy to make roads safer and reduce congestion and encourage all types of transportation is the right combination.
It's part of a much larger strategic effort that SDOT has taken, really to move out of these silos of bikes versus buses versus cars, and to really think about what does an integrated transportation system look like.
And she points out this levy will make up 25% of SDOT's budget, making the passage of Move Seattle even more important.
If you were concerned now about a transportation backlog, it's going to get a lot worse if we don't make this investment now.
That's not how Eric Fisk sees this proposal.
The investments they're making are bad ones because their planning is broken, because they have a strictly top-down model.
Fisk is the transportation chair of the Wallingford Community Council, who's concerned about Move Seattle's intent to repave Green Lake Way and 50th and build a cycle track. He says this roadway was redesigned for cyclists just 2 years ago, and says investing millions of levy dollars here would be a waste.
We know it's not necessary. We know no one wants it, but there's a process, and the process decided 5 years ago that this should be in the bicycle master plan, so it's going to get done.
Fisk says his group's effort to push for levy language to consider better bike options on Northeast 45th near I-5 by the year 2021 was an uphill battle. He says the fact this pressing need was overlooked by Move Seattle shows SDOT isn't listening.
Right now it's just a mishmash of disconnected bits and pieces that made sense to a bureaucrat downtown using a spreadsheet. There's no connection to reality between the plans they have and what's actually needed in the neighborhoods.
But a bad fit for some residents of Wallingford seems like a perfect match for others, like Talis Ebolins in Mount Baker.
The Move Seattle levy is critical to our mission.
Ebolins founded the Friends of Mount Baker Town Center, a group dedicated to overcoming blight in the Rainier Valley and improving access for pedestrians, bicyclists, and transit users.
What the Move Seattle levy would do down here includes better connection of the bus station to the Lightlink station. Right now, people have to walk across Rainier Avenue, and it's a terrible crossing. People are missing trains trying to get to and from work.
The levy would integrate a bus station inside the Mount Baker Light Rail facility and would put money towards installing a new light rail stop on South Grand.
So it really is critical to the success of not just South Seattle, but our regional transit system. If we can invest in infrastructure, we're not going to be able to afford to live here.
But the devil is still in the details of the Move Seattle levy for Amanda K. Helmick, co-chair of the West Seattle Transportation Coalition.
There's not a lot in there to help get West Seattle moving.
Helmick says the key for her group is finding better ways to get in and out of West Seattle. Major issues, she says, are not covered in the levy.
None of the corridors, the multimodal corridors that were mentioned had anything to do with getting us in and out of the peninsula, so it definitely threw up some red flags.
Her group also successfully pushed the city council to add some funding to Move Seattle to study mobility issues. But she's not sure how her neighborhood will vote on the levy in November.
I'd be surprised if it passed with flying colors. I think it might squeak out here.
Supporters say Move Seattle is designed to be flexible in its spending as new transportation needs arise, but still transparent to the public with the projects selected. Projects, they say, are critical to our future.
We're growing and we need to make these investments, and these investments will pay off.
But it's not that simple for some neighborhoods with different demands, who argue the price tag for Move Seattle is too high and the benefits are too few.
$930 million for bike lanes and safe routes to school. I mean, we're looking at this package and we're just trying to figure out where that money is actually going.